What is going on? We are using a new service today. We are literally live simultaneously on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, all of the above at the same time. Those of you guys that like going live, we've used BeLive.tv in the past. We're using a new one called StreamYard.com. And this is pretty crazy to be live on all of these different platforms at one time. So, my name is Kyle Whissel. I'm joined by my sales manager, Mr. Mike Proctor. This is first time going live on one of these.
Yeah, this is awesome, brother. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, dude, this is gonna be fun. I feel like we need to, get our thoughts, get our ideas, get some stuff out there, what we're working on. Because I know I've had a lot of people hitting me up, man, just saying, "Hey, what do you think? What's going on? What's going on? What are you doing? What are you changing? What do you blah 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 blah?" Like, so this is kind of our time to just share a little bit of the stuff that what we're thinking, what we're doing, how we're giving back, all of that stuff. If there's specific questions that you have, if you're watching us right now live, ask those in the comments. We would love to answer some questions. We got about a half hour here to have some fun. So, Mike, the first thing, I think one of the biggest things that's on everybody's mind, for us being realtors and running a real estate team here in San Diego is just kind of what effects are we seeing so far on the real estate market?
So I know for me personally, leaning into the team and having conversations with the team agents in regards to the conversations they're having with their clients. People are still looking to buy and sell homes. We have a handful of escrows going right now, and it's about being there, and helping our clients and helping the individuals that are still looking to do business find ways to continue to do business. I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's the conversations that I'm having right now. Because there's so much uncertainty. There's so many question marks for people right now. And when I say people, I mean clients, the ones that are looking to possibly buy or sell or that are currently in escrow. And they're looking to us as their agent, as a leader, as someone that has all the answers, or at least can give them direction. And it's so important that we take that mantle and we own that mantle, and that we can consult them through, following through with this decision, so long as it's the right decision for them. And I think that's the biggest thing we need to remember is, this too shall pass, kind of a thing, right? Like, this is a terrible situation, and the last thing I want to do is downplay it, but life is going to go on. And, if we just hunker down and shut down everything, nothing good's going to come from that. So, we have a responsibility to help those around us continue to positively move forward. You with me?
For sure. Yeah, I think the biggest thing I'm seeing is people want to know what's our opinion of this. And is this 2008 all over again? Or is this more of a 9/11 type thing? And, my personal opinion, I think it's much more of a 9/11 type thing. I mean, absolutely freaking tragic, right? Like, what's happening right now sucks.
Totally.
There are thousands of people losing their lives right now. There are thousands of people losing their jobs right now. Like, it sucks straight up. Like, this absolutely freaking sucks. But this isn't 2008 where it's this bubble that was filled for years and years and years and years in the real estate space, like we had back leading up to 2008. Like, I remember I was like scooping popcorn at a freaking movie theater, and they gave me a $500,000 loan with no money down. Like,
right.
I remember buying a property with no money down, and then it closed and they gave me money. Like, the loan to value was like over 100%. Like, it was so stupid. There was this massive buildup to what happened in 2008. What's happening?
Funny, I was watching a slide. It's not to cut you off, bro, but just to piggyback on what you're saying, there is the lead up to 2008. In 2005, 2006, 2007, if you looked at the amount of money that was taken out of properties in cash out refinances, it was to the tune of like $260 billion in 2006 and 2005 and 2007. It was all around that $260 billion mark. if you look over the last 3 years, it's like 60 billion, then 64 billion, and like 71 billion. So it is a night and day comparison from what 2008 was in terms of like, leeching all this money out of the market versus where we're at now with this nice stable economy that we had walking into this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as opinions, right? I truly believe, and now not to compare that these are identical situations, right? Completely different. One is an active terror, one is an active disease. They're very different. But I think the overall effect is going to be more similar. In 2001, when 9/11 happened, like it was tragic, right? There was a time where we all thought to ourselves, like, I'm never getting on a plane again. Right? We looked at people from different ethnic backgrounds in a negative way, just automatically. Like it was crazy, right? And now those things
all the same industries then are impacted now. It's the leisure industries, the restaurant industries, because people didn't want to go out of their houses. They were scared of another attack. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think it parallels so well.
Yeah. Then all those things we moved on from those things, right? We've all been flying on planes. We don't see color anymore. We're all one, right?
Right.
Things have changed so much in that regard, and I believe again this is absolutely tragic. And I know that some of the things that are happening right now might seem like they're overboard and overly dramatic, but the alternative is that instead of thousands of people dying, it's millions of people dying. Like if we don't take these actions, then that's a very real possibility. So albeit it sucks, right? We can all disrupt our lives for a while and do everything we can to minimize the spread of this thing, because the more we do now, the quicker we get through this and the quicker we get back on a path to recovery. The thing that I want to share is I've got this chart here, and this comes from the US Census Bureau. So this is not any made up numbers, anything like that, but this basically shows you median sales price of new homes in the United States. And I highlighted the area on here, 2000, 2001, 2002. And, a lot of people probably don't remember what happened with home values back then. But if you look at this, you'll actually see that home values went up more the year after 9/11 than they did the year before 9/11, which is kind of crazy. Like I have a feeling most people are thinking like, oh, 9/11, that caused the real estate market to tank. 9/11 wasn't a real estate related event. It was nothing to do with real estate. It was a terrorist event. And what's happening right now is not a real estate event. This is a health crisis, right? These are non-real estate related events. So I'm not saying for sure that this time is going to be like 2001 to 2002, but I'm looking more at 2001 to 2002 than I am 2008 to 2009. Because there's very different situations that have led up to these things. The other thing that I want to encourage you to look at on here is look at home values over time. Like this thing goes back to 1963. Tell me how many years on here you see it going up and down. Like, dude, I'm looking at the stock market, and it's fun to like predict what the stock market's going to do every day. But I mean, the stock market, 30, 40% here on certain stocks, 50, 60% there. Like it's totally crazy what's happening with the stock market. If people are looking for a good place to put their money, like this is a much more sound investment over time than in the stock market. So and in 2001, right, that was like right around the time I got into real estate. A lot of people, because the stock market was nuts in 2001, right? It did the same thing that it's doing right now. Like everything tanked. They shut the stock market down for a while. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing the same thing. Like the stock market tanked then. A lot of people took their money out of the stock market and put it into real estate. So I think you're going to see a lot more of that this time around than you're going to see of 2008. So, and, as far as what we're seeing, though, there's definitely people that are just kind of putting a hold on things. And it's not even that they're saying, I'm not going to sell anymore. I'm not going to buy anymore. It's more of like, hey, let me just pump the brakes a little bit. Let's see how this goes here for a little bit. And we'll pick it back up in a month or two. That's more of what we're seeing. There's still plenty of clients buying. I think we put 3 in escrow this week already. We have 40 in escrow overall. So there's still people that are buying and selling.
Right.
there's just less. There's just more people now that are just taking a little wait and see approach to things. So,
and there's some really positive things that I want to help our agents kind of shed light on to their clients as well, in regards to the stability of the banking industry now compared to pretty much ever. You know, there are like stress tests and stress factor tests that they've had to go through on a quarterly and semi-annual basis to ensure the reserves can withstand some type of a catastrophic event. So like as far as like the banking industry goes, they are more prepared for a situation like this than they had ever been in the history of banking. So situations like that are what are allowing us to continue to close and open escrows and move forward with this mortgage process. And I think if we share things like that with our clients, it's going to add some confidence in us, and also alleviate some stress in the process for that client, because it's going to give them a sense of control in this uncontrollable environment.
Yeah. I think some of the other things we'll probably see too is, before this outbreak happened, we were sitting in San Diego at 1.5 months of inventory, which means that if nothing else came for sale, we would run out of houses in 45 days. We're traditionally running at 6 months or 180 days. So we've been running at a quarter of the supply that we traditionally run with here in San Diego. And so I believe that if anything, this might help us rebalance our supply and demand a little bit better too, because we've been so out of whack. The demand has far surpassed the supply for, the last 6 months. It's been crazy. So I think this might help out the market a little bit too, to stabilize it. So I am cautiously optimistic, right? None of us can predict the future. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we can rely on past experiences in history and data, right? My degree's in economics. I love charts and data, and I make decisions based on data, not on emotion. And so the data.
That's what you got me for.
Yeah, you can be the emotional one.
Yeah, that works.
The data tells me that when 9/11 happened, it did not cause the real estate market to tank. And I don't believe that this is going to cause the real estate market to tank. So those are some of our thoughts. What I want to move on to next, Mike, is what are some of the things that you're doing to adapt both your family life and I'll talk more about what we're doing work life. So what are some of the things you're doing to adapt?
Holy cow, big adaptations here in the Proctor house, because schools are closed, office is closed, my wife's at home working, I'm here at home working. Apparently my wife thought that you and your family were going to come live with us, so she's like, all right, we'll make room, we'll make it work. But I think the virtual office aspect has made this a very seamless transition. Because we do morning huddles with the team, we do role play sessions, we have office meetings on a weekly basis, and shifting into using Zoom for all of our activities. We had our office meeting on Tuesday, and we had 35, 40 people in Zoom during an office meeting. And I think building that culture around that just being commonplace, where it's like, cool, log in and we're going to hold our open, and we're going to have our meetings, we're going to have our role play sessions and our trainings. It's really helped build continuity and give a sense of normalcy to our agents, because every Monday, we have our huddle at this time, and then Tuesdays we have our office meeting. And one of the things that I love is that we haven't strayed from that. We've just given them a new venue to go to in order to have that. And we're trying to do that same thing for the kids here at home, right? Like, we wake up, we still have breakfast in the morning together. We, have them do reading time. My wife is really high C on the disc profile, so she has outlined an entire day's schedule of, like, from this time to this time, you're going to do this. From this time to this time, you're going to do this. So giving them that sense of structure and, letting them know, like, everything's okay. Like, lean in on mommy and I, and we're not, losing our mind with our hair on fire, talking about the sky falling. We're talking about like, hey, tell me about the book you read. You know, tell me about what you're excited about today. What are you grateful for today? And having these types of conversations to keep their mind framed around something positive, and controllables. If we're focused on uncontrollables, I literally had this conversation with my 12-year-old today because he's getting a little stir crazy and he's getting frustrated here at home and he's starting to pick on his brother and sister. So I pull him into his room and I had this conversation about focus on things you can control, because when you focus on the things you cannot control, you spiral, right? Because you can't control it and you're just perseverating. You're negatively focused on this thing that you can't control, and that breeds hopelessness. And if you're hopeless, that breeds sad feelings and negative feelings, and it just walks you down a path that you shouldn't be going down. So I talked to him about focusing on things he can control. And when you focus on something you can control, regardless of how simple it is, right? When you can control it, that gives you hope. That gives you something that you have control over. You can have an outcome that you can control, right? And that breeds positive energy and motivation and initiative. And that's just a couple of the things that we're focusing on here at the home and also in the virtual office space. I don't know. What do you got going on, Kyle?
Yeah, I think I'm fortunate that I've got an awesome wife and mother-in-law and babysitter that are helping out a lot to alleviate some of the extra stress, right, of not having school for the kids. So they've all really banded together to help out a lot so that I can still help run this company and help put food on the tables of the 50 people that work with us and keep everybody pumped up and motivated. So I've been very fortunate with that. There's a lot of cool things that are out there right now, like Khan Academy and Scholastic and ABC Mouse and all of these different things out there. They're all providing their educational stuff for free, which I think is really cool. I've seen a lot of the gyms, like our friends at CKO Kickboxing here in Santee, and a lot of the other gyms are starting to just do virtual workouts, right? They're just recording their workouts. They're going Facebook Live like we are, and they're helping people work out from home. So it's been really cool to see people step up. I'll give a shout out to Zillow, right? Like right now, there's a lot less people searching for homes, and we have these contracts with them to do advertising, and they just cut everybody's bill. Every single person across the country is doing advertising with them by 50% this month. Which is cool. So it's just been really cool to see a lot of people stepping up. That part I think has been really awesome. So I love to see some of that adaptation and some of the things people are doing to help out. As far as the real estate business, right? Like Zoom, there's a reason Zoom stock is literally zooming through the roof. DocuSign, Dropbox, all these stocks they're going crazy because what's happening right now is that a lot of people are realizing that there's this technology has existed, right? Zoom's been around for a long time. Dropbox, stocks, like these things have existed for years. Nobody used them. Yeah. Now they have to use them. And they're like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I could get used to this. It's been fun to see people using technology they've never used before and starting to realize the power of it and how they can harness it. And EXP, right? We have EXP World, which they've been getting hit up by a lot of companies that are very interested in it because EXP is a cloud-based campus. And right. Zoom is cool, right? We can hop on, we can see each other's faces and we could talk, but we don't have that like walking around a conference, right? Where like we show up to a conference and we walk into the big conference hall and then everybody walks out of there and people go grab a drink and people sit down and do like a little mastermind
breakout sessions and
whatnot. There's all these little breakouts and then it's like, all right, we're gonna have this class in this room and this class in that room. Like, that's hard with Zoom, right? That's really hard with Zoom. But EXP World allows that. And so there's a lot of companies that are looking at EXP now. Hey, how do we get this technology? So it's been really cool. And I mean, if you look at real estate stocks, a lot of them have been hammered, although today was a good day for most of them. Yesterday, I mean, Realogy was trading at like $13 a share a month ago. Realogy owns Coldwell Banker and Century 21. They were trading under $3 yesterday.
Right.
Like that's insane. 13 down to like 250 or something crazy. Where EXP weathered the storm a little bit better than most because of the technology, right? They're very forward thinking. So it's been cool to see that. Some of the other things is like another EXP, they locked up a partnership with a company called iSpy 360, which I think is the coolest 3D virtual tour company that exists. Like a lot of us in the real estate space know about Matterport. Matterport was probably one of the first, or at least the biggest in that space, where they have the 3D camera that you put on a thing, a tripod, and it spins around and shoots this 3D image, and you could walk through a house without ever, leaving your bed. You could sit in bed and take that tour, and that's cool. And then we just talked about Zoom, right, where we could be face to face and we could talk to each other. But until this company, I don't know of one that exists that combines those two together.
Right.
So one of the things that we're doing right now is going and reshooting all of our properties that we have for sale right now with this new technology, because now we can truly do a virtual open house. We could say, hey, we're going to have this thing virtually open, just like normal, Saturday 1 to 4, but nobody has to leave their house for this. And instead of just sending somebody a link, like, here you go take the tour. Now we can actually both be taking the tour together. I could see their face, they could see my face, and we could literally walk through the house together as though we were there in real life. And that is so freaking cool. Like, it's so cool. Like, that forced me, right? Like, Matterport technology is cool, but I didn't feel like it was good enough. So it forced me to go seek something out. And then little did I know, EXP actually partnered with a company that provides this technology. So be on the lookout for that. We're shooting our first one tomorrow. So,
and it's called Spy 360, something like that.
iSpy, EYESPY 360, and then EXP has their own partnership with them as well. So that's some cool stuff for EXP agents.
Yeah, I'm excited to roll that out.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot our first one tomorrow, and it'll be fun. I'm excited to do it, and we could just sit in our office and from 1 to 4, or sit at our house, or sit in your backyard, whatever you're doing. You could just sit, and now people can they could be walking through like, oh, hey, I want to talk to Kyle, and boom, I'll pop on the screen, they'll pop on the screen, and we can talk through the tour of the house. It's gonna be really cool. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, so we got that going on. And then with the last few minutes here, Mike, let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff we're doing to give back. Because honestly, I think that's one of the most important things right now, guys, is like we talked about at the beginning, there are thousands of people that are out of work right now, whether they want to be or not, right? I mean, the restaurants, right, they're all shut down with the exception of being able to do a little bit of takeout and delivery type stuff. And then you've got bars and nightclubs are shut down, and schools are shutting down. And I mean, there's so many people. I mean, virtually every industry across the country is affected right now.
Totally.
And so many people are just in hard times. And I mean, the parents, right, that are trying to figure out how do we care for our kids, like nuts. So talk a little bit about what you're seeing.
So a couple of things that I've run into is agents are wondering, like, exactly that, like, what am I supposed to do for my audience, right? Maybe not even my clients, but my community, because it's not about business right now. It's about being human. It's about coming from contribution. That's really what it's all about. And, I think the statistic that I last heard was Facebook usage is up over 200% from what it was just a couple weeks ago, which doesn't surprise me at all because everybody's stuck at home. And if you think about it, everybody is searching for like some kind of an escape from the negative news media that we're hearing over and over and over, right? So what we're doing is we're really trying to focus on, bringing people together in a positive light. Like, I know one thing that you're personally doing, Kyle, is you're reaching out and you're having small restaurant owners that we've already done, highlight videos on with East County Eats. They're doing videos about what they're offering and what they're doing, even though they can't accommodate, people eating and dining in, that they're still doing takeout service. And, we're putting that on our different social media pages to try to give influence to those small local businesses that are going to be most severely impacted by this type of an economic shift. Right. And then for our communities, our neighbors, we're looking at going into, elderly communities, maybe like a 55 and up park and talking to the HOA or the president of the park and seeing if they have their own food bank there, and how those food stores look and how you can help influence, the community to get behind supporting that, that trailer park or that community. Um, one of the things that I'm talking to the agents about is just jumping on and doing a Facebook Live every day. And it has nothing to do with the virus. It has nothing to do with this quarantine. It has to do with bringing some kind of positive light to those that are paying attention on a daily basis, right? Because we're going on to social media with the intent to escape the news media, the negativity. We're going on social media, and my feed, my social feed is filled with people that are like, "Hey, brighten my day with the 13th picture in your phone," that kind of stuff. So the average Joe, the average person, is looking for an escape. So if you get on and you do maybe a workout challenge, Kyle, you were talking about some of the local gyms and personal training studios are doing virtual workouts. Well, heck, maybe you're going to do a dad bod challenge, right? And you're going to go Facebook Live and be like, "Hey, every day at noon, I'm going to do 30 minutes of workout. Why don't you jump on here and work out with me?" Little things like that, where you're just constantly, and I think that's the key, is it's consistency. You're jumping on a consistent basis, bringing some positive influence, some positive light, and showing that families are coming together, right? That people are coming together and supporting one another in this, the times that we're in. Those are the things that are going to inspire and motivate and keep people pushing forward. That's that's all I got to say about that.
You pretty much just took everything I was going to say. I love it.
All right, cool. Good talk.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest ones you mentioned in there is the senior communities. Like, if you're in any business, if you're in any position to help, like, reach out to your local senior community, whether that be a senior living facility or mobile home park or whatever the case may be. Like, reach out. These guys need help, especially those 55 plus communities. Like, please do your part. If you've got the time, you've got the means, whatever the case may be, like, man, those are the guys that need it the most, right? We know they're the most at risk as we go through this. So, like you said, we're doing a food drive. We've got, dozens of people who are going to be donating, tons of food tomorrow. We're doing some of it to our local food bank for the families that need it, and also to one of the senior communities here locally. So, get out there, do your part, guys. This is crazy. This is crazy times. And, we need to put some crazy effort into helping other people out. So I encourage you to do that today. I'm hoping you guys got some value out of this live today. If there's other questions you have, I know some of you guys asked for the chart I shared in the website. I'll post all that stuff in the comments. You can always shoot me a DM on Facebook or on Instagram. I'll get that over to you. But bottom line, guys, go out there, spread some positivity. When I was at church this past week, Pastor was talking about you have two choices here. You can be at peace or you can panic. And very, very rarely does panic work out well for anybody, right? I mean, everybody's going to the grocery store buying all this crazy shit. Like, I don't know if you know, even when they shut the city down, which it's happening in multiple cities, it's probably going to happen here in San Diego, like, you can still go to the store and buy freaking toilet paper. Like, the grocery stores don't shut down. It's just crazy, right? People are panicking, and that leads to a lot of negative consequences. So be at peace, be relaxed. Like one of the guys in our office, Clayton, right? He's a OB guy, Ocean Beach. So you guys don't know that. It's known to be a hippie community here in San Diego. He's doing a drum circle with his family every day. Like, put that stuff out there. That stuff, that's what we all need right now. We need some positivity. We need some smiles, some laughs, some humor. Don't go on freaking Netflix and watch like Pandemic and all these movies. That's the worst thing you could be doing right now. Go on there and watch some Bill Engvall comedy or some Larry the Cable Guy, like some Kevin Hart. Go watch some freaking comedy and laugh a little. Like, laughter is an amazing.
Do some craft projects with your kids.
Yeah.
Family game night. Go roast marshmallows in your backyard. Do goofy stuff like that.
Yeah, I love it, guys. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this today. If there's stuff you got questions, hit us up in the comments. We'd love to continue the conversation. But go out there, laugh a little today, and make somebody smile.
See you guys.